Hello and welcome to the next part of the our tutorial developing web application with Servlet and JSP. So in this tutorial I will discuss the very basic and the first step in any project development. So here I will discuss how we are going to create our directory structure or setting our projects. So before going to that, I just want to share something like whenever we are developing some enterprise level of project, we differentiate our different type of code in a different layers. So basically a typical web project contains some of the layers like UI layer, where our presentation logics goes, means if we are going with the JSP, so JSP will be available in the UI layer. And business layer, so business layer is the layer where we will have the entire model code or our business validation code. So basically UI calls the business layer, and business layer again calls to another layer which is a DB layer, which is the persistent layer. So there is some code which interact with the database and persist our object. Apart from this, there is another two layers, which is entity layer and the utility layer. Entity layer provide us some of the basic models like view model or some kind of objects which we directly map from our database objects, or some kind of view model on the UI. So utility layer contains very common logics, like if we have some kind of common things like encryption decryption code, or any kind of means object validation code like that. So let's jump into the demo. So just open up your Eclipse and you can choose new enterprise or dynamic web project, right? Yes, just give it a name, like I'm going to give it app dot let give it to app. Select whatever the runtime you are selecting. Next, and you can check generate web XML deployment descriptor to define your servlet or something else. Click finish. So here we have a default project created. So we have web content folder. This content folder is basically the directory which is exposed over the web. So basically if we are developing a web application, so we will have HTML pages, either it is dynamically generated or static pages. And you all knows the HTML uses CSS and JavaScript to format its pages. So let's create some of the folder, like basic folder. Like I am going to create a CSS folder. All the CSS file will be goes here. Another is JS, JavaScript files will go here. In JS we will put some of libraries which is available from the internet, and we will also put our own code. So to do that, we can just create another folder and say it to lib. It will hold all the libraries which we will download from the internet, and the root of the JS will contain all the project specific JavaScript files. Again, we could have images folder, and for any other type of content I am just going to create a folder like content. So if I am uploading something to my website, I can put in this folder, or any other resource like XML or something I will put here. So this is the basic structure for this. Again, I would suggest to create folders for some kind of a special section of projects. So let it be for now, we will discuss it later. So as going forward in this project tutorial, I am going with a very similar fashion, like I am basically go with the JSP, then I will combine JSP and Servlet. I also told you how to use Servlet. So for now, for this tutorial, as JSP is the very fast development platform, so I'm just going to use some sort of JSP files and show you how we can do anything like that. So for this, just create a new JSP file. Just mark is a index.jsp. Right. So here is the basic JSP file, and if I just go and right click and run as on server, next, right. So you will see nothing is there, but your application is up, right? So for this, I have to create some kind of Java HTML. So I'm not going to create anything from my bare hands. Everybody is aware of Bootstrap. It is a basically CSS library or CSS framework which provide us a very basic structure of our HTML. So I'm just going to download a Bootstrap theme which is available free. So if you go Bootstrap theme, from here I can choose. Oh, my net is some kind of slow, that's why it's looking this way. Yes. Oh, so lots of same themes there. Oh, I was not looking for this. Let me check again. Yes, starbootstrap.com. Here, browse all theme template. It is the free template library. So I am going to choose like let's suppose let's download this one. So I have just downloaded to it. Download it to some local folder. Right, it's downloaded here. So after downloading, if you extract the folder, you will find something like that. So it is a complete application so I am just going to download, select all this. I'm not going to take this bin folder, license file or any readme file. Right, just copy all these and paste it to the, create just a sample project like temp folder temp and paste it here. So I will be using the complete content from there in my JSP. So if you are looking here, it's saying some validation error for that jQuery file. It's not an error, basically we can suppress it. Just go to property, JavaScript, include path, sources, and exclude, we don't have anything, add file from project, or you can select like jQuery, or you can select entire content of this. Right, so you have these projects files which we are going to add in the give a minute. So I just want to add some of the exclusion for the JavaScript file. So just select excluded and add, and I say dot strict dot js. So it will ignore all js file. Just clean the project, it will build it again. So now yes, so it's stopped showing that error. So if you go in that temporary folder and if you visit to index file, it has this much content. So I am just going to copy all this. Don't worry, it's not a very headache part, it's very simple, and I just going to paste it in my JSP. Right, and all these supported file I will copy to the root folder. Skip all, and if there is an existing file, it will work fine. We don't have any problem with this. Right, so due of the existing of that files, it's denied to merge. I just paste it manually, and again the all JS files manually. Nice. So now if I go again in my browser and run the app, so I will be seeing some kind of very magical Java HTML page. So this is a very static page again, but it's on .jsp page. So we have power to make it dynamic. So I will show you how we can go to create some dynamic web content like this using JSP. So this was the very basic setup here, like how we can create our templates. So the thing that I have done is called templating. So in real industry, if you are creating any web application, so there is a lot of team of developers who are working on the same project. So there is a team of UI developers or UI designers. They are responsible to create these kind of HTML, and the another team, the backend team, that is our Java team, they are responsible for creating their Java classes and the JSP. So basically we get the content from our UI developers, put it in our JSP, and plump all together to produce a dynamic rich content. So this is all about how we create templates. So this was the UI part. So basically as a backend developer or JSP Java developer, we do not have to worry about how we are going to create this HTML, because this is the primary responsibility of the HTML team. So they will provide us, and we just have to get some knowledge about this, so that if there is any need or tweak or something else, so we can do that. So we will discuss these all things in very deep in next videos. So let's move for some other parts. So this was the web content or the UI part. Again, on the backend part, we want to categorize, or means our specific type of code. Like I have already discussed how we are going to create layers in our projects. So go to the Java resource and create a package, like I am just going to call it com.app.biz. So it will be our business layer, right? Again, let's suppose I create a Java class which is representing my business logic. So let's call it common. So it will be a common, so some kind of common business logic we will put in this file. Next we will create a package which will hold our DB or data access objects, and let's create another class. It's again common DB. So some of the, let's just call it common, some of the common feature of the database thing we'll put here, right? Oh, it's not showing in proper place. That's not a problem, it will handle, right? So we have business layer, we have DB layers, and if we will ask where is our presentation layer, so here the web content is our presentation layer, or the JSP will represent our presentation logic. So we are just created our business data access, we already have presentation layer, just create a package like com.app.entity. we can also call it bean, so keep it as per as very simple. And again let's create a common file here. So we have our common entity file, and again we just going to create a utility file. So just create a package util and create a file so called a class file so called common, let's suppose so called constant. So if we want to create any kind of constant for this project, we will put in this file. So just create a constant here like public static final, sorry, public final string app name equal to my first JSP application. So we have just, as per the naming convention, constants goes as uppercase underscore separated, so I'm just going to follow that, the same app name, right? So now I just created my directory structure, put some of the basic code, and let's suppose I want to use my constant here in my title. So just do it here, and you can call it from here like we have utility dot constant, so we can do import or we can call fully qualified name constant. It's already what is the one we have created public static final app name. So now we have been put in some of the dynamic content now in our JSP. So just run it again and see what happens. Start it again. So now we are getting my first JSP application, right? In the next part of this video, I will show how we can link to different pages and how we can get these like this slideshow from a database. Like in my database, I will configure some of the images, and those images will be available here. So for this tutorial, I will be completing that much only here. So thank you for the watching.